This is All of It on WNYC. I'm Allison Stewart. We've been talking about theater this hour. Broadway and off-Broadway may be the heart of New York City's theater scene, but its future depends on new voices. One theater festival is investing in emerging and established playwrights and original work. The annual Broadway Bound Theater Festival is mounting 12 new shows that are making their world premieres. It also gives these artists the critique, workshopping, and technical support they need. As Broadway Bound celebrates its 10th anniversary this year at the AMT Theater, with shows running until August 16th. We are joined by the festival's co-founder and director, Lenore Skomal. Did I say your name correct?
You did, Allison.
All right.
Thank you so much.
So nice to see you.
Oh.
Now, you're a playwright and author
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
What challenges did you face and did you notice that playwrights faced when it came to getting original work produced?
I think monumental kind of sums it all up, especially, and I started in the industry about 15 years ago when I transitioned to stage. Really wanted to start focusing on stage. And I realized the only opportunities there were for me were in the festival scene. And back then we had Fringe. It was very active. NYMF was very active in New York City. Both of those festivals closed down. And that's what the impetus was for me, because after I was in my first festival in New York, I thought, this is really hard, especially if you're new and you don't know how to produce, you don't understand the language of theater. So that was where the brainstorm came between me and my husband. Why don't we start something that solely focuses on the playwright and developing their work?
Broadway Bound uses a vigorous and a pretty thorough selection.
Yes.
What qualities does the festival look for?
It's actually how talented the writers are. Now, that sounds like a loaded thing to say, but you can usually tell. We have a panel of readers that have all been published, that are all produced playwrights, and we all come to it from a different place in terms of likes and dislikes. It is a blind process. We don't know anything about the submission whatsoever, and we're really looking for something that is well constructed, where we can see that kind of bud of talent, the person's ability to really craft a story, as well as develop the characters, the plot lines, that type of thing. We use a rubric to do all of that. And then we come together and we discuss them, and they're just numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have no idea who these folks are. So it's kind of exciting when we find out who everybody is.
And to be clear, every script is read in full.
Oh, every script is read by at least 3 people. And sometimes we have a tiebreaker. If I personally am like, I'm not sure about this play, and they're like, oh, no, we need someone else to read it then.
Do you look for something different when you're evaluating a musical versus a play?
No, it's really the same thing, because I think one of the challenges is with musicals, or at least if you listen to audience reaction, they really want a strong plot. They love the music, and that's great. But if it's just sort of shoving songs in, and you're creating a story around it, I think that's what's lacking. And we see some of the musicals that really have stuck with us are the ones that have a nice plot. And so the book really is essential too, as well as the crafting of the music.
There are so many submissions you get, and there are ones that almost make it,
right?
That are almost part of it. What distinguishes the finalists from the almosts?
It's really, and it's sad, because there are plays that we have to turn away, and that's why we have 2 piles. We have the A pile and the B pile, because sometimes we'll offer and we'll invite a playwright in, but they can't do it at that particular time. They don't have the finances, whatever it might be. So we can always draw someone from the B pile, which is that hair thin away. And it really is something like just the polish of it, or maybe something small like the ending, or a subplot that doesn't quite fit or develop. It's often just a tweaking. And in their critiques, because everyone gets one, we say that. We don't write anything that says, give this up. It's really talking about the play itself.
Don't quit your day job.
Yeah. We try to be encouraging, but we also tell them, give it another rewrite using our suggestions and see what happens. Resubmit.
That's so interesting. As you hit your 10th year anniversary, were there any special considerations when programming this year?
This year, no, they're pretty much, we've got it down to an art, which is nice. After 10 years, I'd hope we would. We started down on 14th Street, and we decided to move it uptown. We wanted to be closer to Theater District. It was pretty much it. And that really was helpful for the playwrights, because everyone wants to be off-Broadway, and it's developmental work, so we make that very clear. But this year, I think we feel like our team is everybody on our team is an industry professional. Everyone is actively working in Broadway or off Broadway, the tech folk, all the creatives. So I have a team that we can fully rely on, and I know there's not going to be any glitches. So to that degree, I feel we finally got all the elements together. So when the playwrights step in, they're not going to have the type of headaches they might have had maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
My guest is Lenore Skomel, founder and director of the annual Broadway Bound Theater Fest, which is celebrating its 10th anniversary. It's happening now until August 16th at the AMT Theater. You require accepted playwrights to undergo multiple reviews.
Yeah.
How often does a play change during this time?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You would be surprised. Some plays don't really need a lot of tweaking. You can tell when you're working with the playwright, they really have a handle on what they're trying to do. So a lot of our conversations, and it's a 6 to 8 week period that I work with them individually. Mm-hmm. And they also work in a group with their fellow playwrights. Some plays, it's not my idea, but I'll say, hey, why don't we revisit this subplot? And then what happens, I get pages and I'm like, okay, what happened to that? And it's completely gone, or the arc has changed. The actual substance of the play doesn't change. We don't want that to happen because it was accepted because of the topic matter and the way it was, crafted. But I have been shocked at some of the things that have happened in some of the, and even this year, there were a couple of major rewrites. All for the better, though. It's all about strengthening this iteration under the development process.
Yeah, it must be hard, though. Authors like, that's my voice. You're going to touch my voice. How do you handle a situation like that?
Carefully. And it helps that I'm like that. So yeah. I understand that. And I don't take criticism very well, but we look at it as a critique. And it's never prescriptive. It's always an offering. It's like, let's talk about this. Let me ask you a question. And if they really can defend it and say, I made that choice on purpose and I'm sticking by it, I'm like, okay, just be aware that folks in the audience may have the same challenge I have with it. But as long as you know that you did it on purpose and you're not blindsided, because that's my job too, is to tell them, where are the possible pitfalls? Where would an educated theater audience look at in the play and say, I'm not buying that. I want them to be prepared because we have feedback forms. So they get them after every show. They get, they fill them out. Our audience members will fill them out. We also have a talk back. So I never want anyone to be blindsided and say, well, I didn't know that they were going to respond that way. There's nothing worse.
You deal with emerging artists, but also established playwrights as well?
Yes, we do.
When you think about the difference between the two, what would you say is the major difference, aside from having had plays performed before? But is there a difference?
There is in the level, I guess, their flexibility with taking direction and criticism. I would say that's the big one. Though if you will come to, and many playwrights do, that write a certain genre, but they'll come to us with something experimental. And it'll be like, ugh. So, and that's fine because they want to test it, and I'm all for that because they have the craft under their belt. So that can be a little challenging, just because they don't have a real clear idea about what they want to do with the script. They just know they want to test drive it. So sometimes that process is almost like you're dealing with a beginner. It's like, let's find your play.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Let's find exactly what it is you're trying to say. So, so to a degree, yes, it's great working with seasoned folk, but it can also be difficult too because they have their own way of doing things, and we have our own culture. So we ask them to sort of adapt to our, guerrilla theater way of doing things.
Let's talk about this year's festival. It kicked off last Thursday.
Love
It'll
it.
premiere 10 plays and 2 musicals. If you were going to give an elevator pitch about what we can expect from this year's lineup, what would it be?
You've got a lot of great straight plays coming up, a lot of laughter. We've got some satires that I strongly recommend that folks come out for. We also have 2 great musicals, brand new, one written by a Grammy Award-winning musician and writer, and another by a fellow and it's a lovely little piece about someone finding second love after being married for a very long time to the love of his life and his wife passing away. That piece is very heartwarming. These are shows that people will want to come see and then walk away from as well. And our 4th week, we have 4 really thought-provoking, including a play called Recovery, which is revisiting 9/11. Hard topic in New York, obviously. But I really want to encourage folks to come see this because we picked this play because it's beautifully written, and it also is a relationship drama. It's about a young man trying to find his brother. But it really talks us through that place in a very supportive way. It doesn't really open a lot of wounds. That's something we were very careful about. But we'd love everyone to come out to AMT, and we actually open tomorrow evening with our first play called Jugular for this week, and it's a wonderful satire. It's kind of about the government situation and some other things, but it's so funny.
Ooh.
It's really funny, and Daniel R. O'Brien wrote it, and it has he's a wonderful writer. So you're going to really enjoy it. Then you'll walk away with a thinker. Like, you'll wait a minute. Okay, let me talk about that. So those are the plays that we like to present, is that they present one way, and then when you walk away, you're thinking about them afterwards. You can have that conversation.
Since you've been with this festival for 10 years, has your definition of a great play changed?
Yeah. Actually, it has helped me become a much better writer. And that's thanks to every single person whose script I read, and that's probably maybe 5,000 or 6,000, because I've learned so much about the craft and I've applied it to myself. So yes, I've learned that. And also I've learned to expand my own horizons. I like one particular genre, for instance, but now I can read all kinds of genres and appreciate them. And that's why a festival like this is so helpful to anyone that wants to see theater at an affordable price, is because you can walk in a door and maybe it's not something you would have picked for a $120 ticket, but you certainly could pick it for $30, and maybe open your eyes to something you would have never chosen.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do this summer, is a lot of plays that people can go see.
Thank
them,
you.
Right?
I really appreciate that. And you're doing God's work, so thank you for that.
If people want to know more about Broadway Bound Theater Festival, where should they go?
We have our website, which is www.broadwayboundfest.com, and you can get your tickets through and everything else. You can also go to the box office, which is on West 45th Street. 354. It's a lovely little theater if you've never been to AMT Theater. Independent little theater. It's gorgeous. It's clean. It has great rake. No bad seat in the entire place. Lovely people. No plays over 90 minutes. No musical is over 110. So you're in and you're out.
Lenore Scomel is the founder and director of the annual Broadway Bound Theater Fest. Thanks so much.
Thank you.